Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you, thank you.
Big time stuff there. We saw all the emotions at the end of this match. What was going through your mind?
So much. I think at the end of the match, my legs just kind of buckled. They weren't working anymore. And yeah, it was an overwhelming wave of emotions, I guess. Yeah.
Great tennis, but I want to ask you too about playing on that court.
Yeah.
What did you notice? What did you take away from center court?
It was a very different experience for me from last year.
Swiatek throws her racket into her own bag, 4-2 down. In a tie-break she's supposed to be winning, the defending Wimbledon champion loses her composure, and it's got nothing to do with power.
Since the Miami tournament, Eala has one of the best, if not the best, second serve returns on the WTA Tour. And she can hit any type of return from both sides. So if you as a righty serve to the Eala backhand on the deuce side, she can go Jimmy Connors style down the line or cross court. She can do the same on the ad side. She can go inside out, and her favorite return on the backhand side is the inside in. And similarly on the forehand side, her favorite return is the one on the deuce side, where the player serves slice towards the tee or towards the middle of the box.
Alexandra Eala's serve is barely faster than a club-level rally shot. 86 miles an hour on the first ball, 75 on the second. Swiatek's first serve comes in at 102. On paper, this isn't a match Eala should be winning, but here's the lane we're following. The serve. Everyone calls Eala's weakness is exactly what took apart a Grand Slam champion.
Completely, about me not handling the pressure well, and I was firing, shots. Today I wanted to be more calm and, play some balls in, but, I was mishitting, half of these returns, and I lost many points, I feel like. Maybe if I watch, I'm gonna see something else, but for me today was more about the tennis, and if I'm also happy how I came back,
Let's rewind. Quezon City, Philippines. Its earliest courts were concrete slabs shared with basketball hoops, the rims cutting off her room to retreat and take balls deep. No space to back up meant no choice but to hit early.
I didn't think I'd be making this many videos about women's tennis at Wimbledon, but once I researched Alex Eala's story, I couldn't resist this one. If you don't already know the name of Alex Eala, get ready, because she is the first Filipino tennis player to make it through to the third round of a Grand Slam's singles tournament at Wimbledon. But that isn't the best thing about her story. In August last year, Eala wore a t-shirt designed by Manila-based designer Georgina Camus, which featured the national flower of the Philippines, the sampaguita. And for her Wimbledon look, she chose to honor her heritage but also send a message of strength, with this Filipino phrase embroidered into the back of
On the rise. Her grandfather, Roberto Lolo Bob Maniego, built the discipline underneath that game from the time she was 3.5 years old. At 12, she won Les Petits As in France, and that put her on the radar of the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor. At 13, she left Manila for Mallorca. Joan Bosch, once mentor to Carlos Moya, shapes her tactics now. Tony Nadal advises her. This wasn't an accident arriving at center court in 2026. It's a decade of engineered unorthodox.
Last year, before the match, I was really emotional because I was like, wow, the impact of this court. And I think before the match today, I think I was able to put myself in a mindset where it's still important. It's still a big match for me, but at the same time, it's like every other match, So I think I had a good balance, yeah.
Talk more about the impact of the court. What does that mean to you?
I think it's just because this court has been the one that I've seen so many times, and you're at the baseline before serving, and you can imagine all the scenes of everybody winning their Wimbledons.
And Swiatek wasn't unfamiliar with Eala either. Miami, March 2025. Eala, on a wild card, had already beaten her once, along with Ostapenko and Keys before losing to Jessica Pegula. Wimbledon wasn't the first data point, it was the confirmation.
Great victory over Swiatek again. She obviously beat her in Miami a couple of 12 months ago, and now she's beaten her as the defending champion in the first win on a center court at Wimbledon. She's in the 4th round of a Grand Slam for the first time. Let's see what happened. All right, so 2 hours and 14 minutes. So the first set was super long. Both of them have set points, but never really felt like Eala was in trouble. Even if she had lost that first set, Eala was in control. It was really, really interesting to see how Swiatek was just battling the entire time. You can see there that the serving was pretty consistent. Both of them were serving well-ish, but obviously the 5-double faults for Swiatek really, really hurt her in the end. And actually
But this wasn't the end of the road to center court. Round 2 came first, and it nearly ended everything. Maya Joint, the same player who'd beaten Eala in a 3-set Eastbourne final almost exactly a year before, took the first set 6-3. Eala fell to 15-30 in her opening service game of the second. 2 aces followed, 105 miles an hour, then 107, the fastest serving of her whole tournament. Delivered at the exact moment collapse was 1 point away. She took the second set 6-2, then she swept the third 6-0.
How to describe it? I mean, I'm into the second week of a slam, and it's amazing for me. Iga is a phenomenal player and a really nice person, so I'm really grateful to be able to share center court with her at Wimbledon nonetheless. Yeah, I'm really emotional, and maybe for someone like Iga, who has won so many slams, or maybe someone like Serena or Venus, this achievement may seem small, but for someone who grew up in the Philippines
And that's when things shifted into the match that would define the entire run. Center court, July 4th, Swiatek, 3rd seed, defending champion across the net. The first set stretched out to 84 minutes. A baseline standoff, Eala was leading before Swiatek forced a tiebreak. Inside that tiebreak, at 4-2 down, Swiatek threw her racket into her own bag, a champion's composure cracking in real time. She clawed back to 2-set points. Eala saved both. The set ended 7-6, 11 points to 9 on a forehand sent long.
Tune up before Roland Garros. What specific areas of Eala's clay court game do you see still needs the most improvement?
I think there's some improvement to be made, in particular with Alex's movement, specifically a little more development with the sliding technique, that being sliding into shots from corner to corner. In particular, when I watched Alex play, on a few occasions her movement out of the corners was a little stuttered due to slightly ineffective sliding, leaving her a little bit exposed when trying to retrieve her opponent's next shot.
Set 2 brought the moment that outran the scoreline. Pulled wide to her forehand, Eala slipped on worn grass near the baseline, and instead of going down, she went horizontal, fully airborne, sliding and stretching to get her racket under the ball. Swiatek still won that point. Didn't matter. The dive set the crowd off, and Eala ran off a 4-0 stretch right after. Analysts would later compare the footage to Rafael Nadal's own legendary court coverage, same academy, same physical relentlessness, one generation apart.
That's how Eala got through in this one, and it was really tough to watch Swiatek because she was hitting a lot of errors. She just wasn't playing like herself, but that's what Eala does. Eala frustrates players, and she makes them play worse than they're used to playing. She's just such a scrapper, and she gets everything back, and really is just such an awkward player to play, especially when she's confident, and we know Eala is confident on grass. She's played so well on this surface. She's not just beaten Swiatek, she's obviously beaten Svitolina and Rybakina, who are great grass court players. So really interested to see what happens next, because of course Svitolina and Rybakina are out of the tournament in that bottom half of the draw. Paolini comes up next. She's beaten Paolini before over in Dubai and Doha at the start of the year in February. She took her out.
Final score 7-6, 9, 6-2. 21 unforced errors from Eala, 44 from Swiatek. Now here's what changes the whole read of this match. And it comes from Swiatek herself, not from outside analysis. In her press conference, she said the slow serve was tougher to face mentally than a fast one because she knew exactly how it would arrive and still couldn't find rhythm off it. Stepping in to reach it shortened the court and compressed her own timing. Eala, told about the comment afterwards, seemed almost surprised by it, then said maybe that meant she'd done her job well.
Her forehand inside in into the backhand corner of the righty. She can hit that return with her eyes closed and makes it a lot, and also rips it quite fast. She hits her return like I teach it. She abbreviates her preparation and then has a full finish where she gains similar control of the ball like she would on a regular ground stroke. She also has a spectacular forehand return from the ad side as well. She can go cross court, she can go down the line.
That's the reveal. This wasn't Eala overcoming her serve. It was Swiatek confirming in her own words that the serve everyone lists as Eala's deficiency is the one shot on tour she found hardest to solve.
So after being a breakdown in the first set, because I feel like in Paris I would just lose it straight. So, you know, I was there to fight, it wasn't enough. For sure, you know, I could play a little bit better, but she also played great and she used her chances and she went for it, you know. In the tiebreak, I remember when it was tight, I remember I slowed down a bit, but she was brave enough to, you know, play a bit faster and you know, you need to be brave on Wimbledon.
The story didn't end in triumph, though. 2 days later, in the round of 16, Jasmine Paolini, 2024 finalist, watched from the royal box by Roger Federer, Billie Jean King, and Kimi Antonelli, closed it out 6-4, 4-6, 6-3. Fatigue showed in that final set. Even in the loss, Eala's ranking projected to a career-high world number 28.
Improving all the time. She's a really nice person already. She's a really good player. It's really nice to see her improving. She keeps going all the time. She's a fighter on the court. What is nice for me, she's so young, maybe she will play with my daughter one day. So it's really nice for me to see also the improvement. And I mean, she's a super good example for my daughter too, because she's really a fighter. She's positive. She goes out there. She's a kind.
So here's the question sitting underneath all of it. A serve averaging in the mid-70s and mid-80s miles an hour just beat one of the best returners in the world. On grass, the fastest surface in tennis. What happens when that same serve runs into a bigger returner on a slower surface with more time to adjust? The tour hasn't answered that yet. Eala's next matches will.